All right, congratulations. You have now completed your first job. So what does it mean to close that job out? Let's take a look. So where have we been? So far, we have walked through what happens at the point of sale. We've talked about preparation and organization. We've talked about a communication plan and how you communicate with all the different stakeholders. We talked about getting materials delivered to the job site and what the day of the install looks like. We talked about installer management. And we last time we talked about the final walkthrough and that last piece of the puzzle for the customer. Now let's look at what it means to finally close out this job. And there's 3 or 4 key things. From a marketing standpoint, I want to make sure that we're posting before and after pictures. It gets great traction with the website and everything. We'll talk about that. I want to make sure that we keep all the systems updated. So update Salesforce, do our job costing. And then finally, there's the 10-day happy walk where the design associate gets to go back to the customer's home and take a reference list picture and just do a 10-day happy walk with the customer. So what does the before and after post look like? What's the big deal here? Before and after pictures will boost your digital marketing by making content more relevant. The more often you're posting content to your website, to your Facebook page, to your Instagram, it just continues to boost things up. And, in the beginning, you post one here and there, it doesn't do a lot. As this gets bigger and bigger, it's obviously going to have a bigger impact when you have hundreds and hundreds of photos out there that you can point to. It has a huge impact. So start from day one posting before and after pictures. Have your installer send photos. Here's a pro tip. They're taking pictures anyway, because I guarantee you that your installer is posting their before and after pictures on their own website or on their own Facebook page. So since they're taking pictures anyway, they might as well send you a copy of the pictures. Get the before and after pictures. Post them on your website, Facebook, Angie's List, Home Advisor, Thumbtack, 3Ships, all of your different digital profiles. Anywhere that you've got a digital footprint, post the before and after pictures. They are going to do wonders for your digital marketing. Then in Salesforce, you definitely want to move the job through the funnel, market produced, market paid, and scan documents into the project. So all these documents that we've been keeping up with, the work order, the job jacket, all the little handwritten notes that have been thrown into the folder, might as well go ahead and scan those in. And on the project page in Salesforce, you can come down here and add files. Now I want to bounce into Salesforce for just a moment. So in Salesforce, you probably picked this up in the Salesforce training, but I just want to point this out. So I'm on the project page, right? I'm on the project page, and right here is where I can come down and I can add files to the project. The project page has these chevrons across the top. The product's been ordered, installed, the install schedule, marketing, all this is done, right? This does not move it through the job funnel. So this is a good thing for your office manager to do. They can simply click on one of these and mark that stage as complete. This does not move it through the funnel, though. This is at the project level. If you go into whatever option it was that you landed, I'll just open up this option. This has not been landed. This is a training task for somebody, but you'll see that these chevrons, these are the ones that actually move it through your dashboard. These are the ones that move it through the franchise funnel. So when you mark this stage as complete, it'll move it to landed. Mark it complete, it'll move it to scheduled, produced, paid. Paid is where you want to finish it out. It's on the option level that it moves it through your franchise funnel. However, it's on the project level that some of these things are listed. These are good to haves. The one that actually makes a difference is the one that's on this page, on the option page. So just wanted to make sure that that was really, really clear. And we keep on trucking. Job costing. So how do we use it? Job costing at a high level is nothing more than taking what I estimated that this job was going to cost and comparing it to what it actually cost. Put those two numbers side by side and see exactly what it is. whatever issues that I've had, maybe I bought the material the wrong way. Maybe I sourced something at Home Depot instead of sourcing it locally at a distributor or wholesale. I don't want to repeat that same issue next month. So whatever issue it was that caused me to have to do that, I want to put a process in place to keep that from happening. Production bleed, it not doesn't necessarily mean that you lost money on the job, but if you thought that you quoted it at 50 points and you actually made 45 points, that's 5 points of margin that you didn't get. So you really should be mad when bleed happens. I mean, it's over time that cost a ton of money. It is used as a tool to contrast what it was supposed to be versus actual. So you really can't just download something out of QuickBooks. You actually have to go through the process of job costing. And we're going to cover job costing in detail in field training, but just to sort of tie a bow on production, job costing is in fact part of the production process, right? And you're going to want to do a job costing on every single job, not just once every so often, but on every single job. This is a job that I happen to have done years ago. There was my revenue. This was my budget for materials, for freight, for labor. And you can see that it was $100 difference. Okay, that doesn't sound like a lot, but then you look at the details and you realize, okay, I saved money here. I had a big discrepancy on freight. Okay, there was a discrepancy in labor, and even though $100 doesn't sound like a lot, 3% on a $2 million business is a lot of money. So it is well worth figuring out what happened. If you just fill out the numbers and don't do anything else, it's purely academic, and that doesn't really help anything. The real key is in the learning. And in this particular case, not to go into too much detail, I found out that we had bought a roll at a better price, because sometimes you can buy a full roll versus a cut roll. And anyway, we got a better price on the product, which you can see here, but we ended up paying the installer more. The big difference, though, was not really in the difference between material and labor. The big difference was the freight, and my freight needed to be adjusted in my price list manager. Okay, good. Again, we're going to go into field training. In field training, we're going to go into job costing in a lot more detail. So don't worry about, I mean, I know this was silly high level. Don't worry about it. What I want you to take away from today is when you complete a job, you will do a job costing on every job. And a 10-day happy walk. So walk the job. So this is 10 days later, right? So you've already gotten paid for the job. The production coordinator has already dealt with any punch list items. Everything's already done, right? Now the customer should be happy. Everything should be exactly the way they wanted it. So now the design associate gets to go back to a happy, smiling customer and ask them, did Floor Coverings International do everything we said we would do? Did we clean up? And if you had to do it all over again, would you choose Floor Coverings International? This sets the design associate up to get a reference list picture, to ask for referrals, to ask for reviews. Maybe they even leave a gift behind, like a candle or whatever it is that you guys decide to do in terms of parting gifts. It's a great time to do that, right? Doing 10-day happy walks, in one sense, it's a pain because it's something else that has to be worked into the schedule. But in another sense, it is the most satisfying part of the job. When you can go back to a customer's home 2 weeks after the job was done and see how they're living on their new floor and they absolutely love it, it is so uplifting. And design associates that walk away from this thinking that it's just too much trouble, no, this is where the joy in this is really being able to see the customer smiling at the end of 2 weeks of work of using their floor. And you know what? If it just so happens that there's a little piece of trim or something that needs to be done, great, we'll take care of it. And it makes the customer that much more of a raving fan. Thank you so much for your time and attention. As always, there's resources available for you through the NFDP coaches. There's resources available for you in Floor 1-1 and Floor U. All this stuff is out there. I appreciate your attention as you work through this fairly long course of production. And I wish you well as you implement your inspired delivery system for your location.